It's Barbara. It is Tuesday, January 19th. I forgot to wish you all a happy Martin Luther King Day yesterday. I apologize for missing that first thing in the morning. It is part of the issue of being retired, and there aren't many issues, let me tell you, is that you lose track of all kinds of things, including holidays. So I hope you all had a lovely day. Lots of people don't have off on Martin Luther King Day, but it is a national federal holiday, and so the post office was closed and the banks were closed. So there, I hope you had a good day. He was a great man, and we could learn from him, and we need to, I think we need to read more than just the little memes that people are putting out, because he said a lot of stuff that was really important. And I salute him on his day, although I used to wish he was born in March, because my work, we got off on Martin Luther King Day. And the federal holidays are few and far between from, well, we never got President's Day off. So we went from New Year's Day, and our next holiday off was Memorial Day, which is at the very end of May in the United States. And so that was a really long stretch without any holidays. And so, and then they added Martin Luther King Day, but it was, and his birthday is, I think, the 20th or the 21st, but they made it a Monday holiday. So it's only a few weeks after New Year's. I mean, we appreciated it, but it would, if he'd been born in March, that would have been so much better. Then we could add a holiday in March. Yeah. That's the way my mind thinks. Good morning. It is kind of a cloudy day, but I don't think it's going to rain, so that's good. I think the mud situation is a little bit under control. Wasn't that a great footprint? In fact, I'm going to probably move the rugs off the carpet. I said that yesterday, didn't I? I didn't do that. All I did yesterday was knit on my Archer. That's all I did yesterday. I walked the dog. Oh, and I Skyped with my parents, and that was so nice. And Skyping is really transformational, because this is the second time we Skyped, because, we've been talking on the phone for, 8 or 9 months, and I haven't seen them, but they're not phone talkers. And so we would talk for 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, because really, there's not too much to say about what you've been doing, so our phone calls were very short, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I mean, really. But we Skyped for 40 minutes. We just, because then it's just like hanging out, and they look good, and they had good news. They're getting their vaccine on Friday. The bad news is 4 residents in their facility have COVID. They are getting their vaccine on Friday. So, but Daddy was saying, they're isolated. They have 2 floors. The second floor and the third floor are personal care apartments, which is the kind of apartment they live in. The memory unit is on the first floor. And they're on the 3rd floor. Daddy picked that because it was higher and it would have a better view of the sunset out their window. That was his goal. And they have a very nice, a small 1-bedroom apartment, but it's very nice. Well, it turns out almost everybody, and it was a brand new facility. They moved in a year ago, September. So, and it was a brand new facility, and it wasn't it's only about a third full, I think. And then COVID hit. And and so I've been very grateful that they were only a third full for COVID, because it felt like it would be much easier for them to manage, even though they didn't have as much staff as they would, if they were full. Not having a lot of staff is not a bad thing when you're trying to keep a pandemic out of your building. And so I felt good, I was glad that they weren't full. Well, it turns out that the parents, there are only like 2 other apartments on the 3rd floor occupied. Almost everybody else is on the 2nd floor. And I guess Daddy called them to come and help with something, Pearl. I'm not sure what. And he felt like it took a while to get there, 5 minutes or something like that. And so he thought if they were on the 2nd floor, because there's nobody manning the 3rd floor nurses station, because there's hardly anybody up there, because they're on reduced staff, because they're not full. Anyway, he was thinking that maybe the 2nd floor would be better because they would get there faster, and they, but I'm like, I like the fact that you're up there by yourself. Away from all those people with COVID. All the COVID is on the 2nd floor. So anyway, all the four people have it. So anyway, it's a little scary to know it's in their facility, but not surprising. And if everybody's getting a vaccine on Friday, that will be good. He said that his physical therapists already had the vaccine, but they are contractors. They work for a different company. And they come in and do physical therapy for their facility. Anyway, so that was good news. And we had a really nice visit. And it's really transformative, the Skyping, rather than talking on the phone. So that was fun. And other than that, I knit. I knit on my Archer. And toward the end of the evening, I was beginning to wonder if my Archer was bringing me joy, which made me sad to even think such a thing. And it is the ode to joy knit along, or make along, and you're supposed to be working on things that bring you joy. And then I'm thinking, I'm wondering if this is bringing me joy. Oh, excuse me, I got a dry throat. And we'll show it to you. So it's all rolled up, but whatever. So there's the arch, and I put the purple in. This sweater is going to have 10 times more ends to weave in than that gorgeous mohair mini striped sweater I made and wore yesterday. This is like, Pearl, no. My dogs are turning into barky dogs. I'm not a fan. So I was telling you all the ends. Anyway, you break the yarn so many times. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. But there's going to be a lot of ends. So here's this. This has a drop shoulder, so it's very wide. And I put the arch in, and I put it in the purple in the front too, just like I did in the back. Well, not just like I did in the back. I did it slightly different in the back. And I don't know if you can see it, but those bottom purple stitches are very loose. Ooh, it looks like I have a hole. Well, anyway, that's because I'm trying to show you. They're very loose. There are a few things going on here that I'm saying to myself, oh, that'll block out. I don't think those loose stitches will block out, but I don't think I'll notice it, and I don't think anybody else will notice it. So it's not like I'll have to wear a t-shirt under it because of those. But the other thing is, I don't know, can you see how puckery it is under that arch? That I think also will block out. So, I think that will block out. I don't think the loose stitches will block out, but it doesn't really matter. There, I found the instructions regarding what to do at the end of the arch and all that stuff to be very confusing. So I have a pretty much of a mess right under the arm that's going to need attention. I was winging it after a while just because I didn't get it. And some of that I can just pull that tighter. But so I will be doing a small bit of surgery under the arms. Mainly so I also, I want to connect those two braids and things. But, so I was thinking, part of it was my frustration with myself of not being able to follow the instructions. I sort of lost my way as I was going back and forth with the short rows and, whatever. Whatever I did is fine, and it's going to work fine, and the sweater's going to be fine. It'll be fine, it'll be fine. Remember my mantra, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. And then I've been madly knitting out of the, I was hoping I would get some purple in the front of my sweater because it does have purple. See that purple there in the back under the arch? So I'm hoping I'm coming to it soon, and I hope some of it gets on the front to kind of bring in that purple braid on my arch. But I do really like this yarn, and I like the way it's knitting up, and it's a little bit like self-striping. I mean, I was knitting like a mad person trying to just see what the next color is going to be and that kind of stuff. So there is some purple on its way, but it's going to be a little ways down. But I still think it looks okay. So I'm not sure. I think I was just a little disappointed in myself about how I managed the instructions under the arm. But I'm pretty happy with the sweater now that I'm looking at it. I knew if I told you about it, it would feel better. So there you go. I have an arch. I have two arches. I have one in the back. So now I'm just working down the body. I've gotten that far. So what's that? 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches in the round and round and round. So now I'm in the stockinette when I want something stockinette and easy to knit. That's where I am with this sweater. But I think it was my frustration that made me, wonder, is this bringing me joy? But I do like the yarn, and I think the ripply under the arch is gonna block out. And I'm going to fix under the arm, and it'll be fine, and it'll look good, and I'll be happy. One thing is that I hadn't taken into consideration is that this bison down silk yarn is very fluffy and thick. And the purple is actually quite a thin sock yarn. So part of the problem with me putting it into a braid is just the difference in the weights of the yarn, but I don't know if you can see how loose. See, oh, there you can see. That's holes under there, under that braid, because of the way how loose it is. But I think because of the nature of the braid, it's not really going to show. So I think that's going to be okay. I knew I'd feel better if I talked to you about it. But I am pretty happy with how it's turning out. And I do feel like I need to work on it if I'm going to finish it, because my red yarn is probably on its way. Probably be mailed today, because I ordered it on Sunday. Or Saturday or Sunday. So no mail. Oh, I have to go to the post office today or tomorrow. I have Peggy Bo's package to put together and mail, and I have a couple Christmas cards. Did I say that already? That I have to mail. Winter wishes, rather. So that's what I did yesterday. I did a lot because when last we spoke, I had just finished the two front side pieces, and then I had to combine them. I had to combine them with a few more short rows, and then I had to go all the way down to make the arch. I mean, so I knit a lot yesterday. I got a lot done. And I'm wondering if I should put it on waste yarn and try it on. But I think it's pretty clear that the armholes are big enough, so I really don't have much to worry about. I have pretty much decided I'm not going to make it A-line. I don't think I want it A-line. I'm pretty sure I don't. So that's that. I just need to figure out how long I do want it. I'm wearing my tote-based sweater, which I made this summer, and I'm wearing it like a vest. I haven't worn it in a while. So today, I was thinking I was going to make some keto shortbread, but I don't think I will. My weight is going down. I'm working on it, and it's working, and it occurs to me that shortbread is not a good idea. So I'm not going to make that. So I'm going to work on my sweater, and I might work a little bit on my shawl. The name of it escapes me, and I don't have it with me. My little scrappy shawl, my little scrappy linen stitch shawl. And it's funny because I have to sit and think. I have to think about that. I can't. It's not mindless knitting because, you know, it's hard for me to figure out which row I'm on. And so I have to kind of keep track, and I have to count, and, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's not mindless. Also, I find in the middle of the row, I've completely switched my rhythm and what I'm doing. And, you know, instead of slipping in the back and purling, I'm now slipping in the front and knitting, you know, in the middle of the row. Because my mind wandered and my hands just decided, this is what I really want to do. Apparently. So that is not mindless knitting. So actually, this is now mindless knitting, since I'm just knitting stockinette in the round. So I have to keep that in mind. And I was laying in bed this morning thinking, I should get my silverling out. It would be lovely to knit with that gorgeous possum yarn. That would bring me joy. And it would be, and that sweater is quite well along. I've split for the sleeves and have a little bit of the body done too. It's about the same spot this one is. And I haven't worked on it in a long time. 2 months at least. Because I didn't work on it in my last 2 podcasts, I don't think. Anyway, I haven't worked on it in a while. And that yarn is so lovely. And I love the green. The dark green, and, you know, I suspect that would bring me joy also. And I would like to know where I am with that. If it's also mindless knitting at this point, it could be. I don't know. It has those radiating yarn over details. I don't know where I am. So it might be mindless knitting as well. I don't necessarily feel like I need mindless knitting. I'm feeling okay. But never hurts, you know. So I don't really have a plan for today. And, but I'm feeling good. Feeling good. Slept okay. My weight's on the way down again, so that's good. And I'm at the point, you know, I mean, I've done this periodically. You have gone through this with me many times in the last 8 months. I'm at the point where I have a tendency to sabotage myself. You know, I'm going down and then I do something. Like bake shortbread, which I'm not going to do. So I'm going to try to rein in those tendencies so that I can just continue, you know, feeling good about my food thing. So, my barky dogs. So anyway, like I said, I don't have too many plans. Valerie has offered to set up a Zoom knitting meeting for us, and at some time, and I was wondering, you know, we're all over the place, but I thought maybe like 2 o'clock on a Sunday, 2 o'clock Eastern time, which would be 11 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, 12 o'clock Mountain time, 1 o'clock Central time. And I think that would be like 2 o'clock would be like 8 o'clock in Great Britain. We're 6 hours different. 8 o'clock in the evening on a Sunday evening in places in Europe. 8 or 9, 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure. Anyway, I don't think that's a good time for Australia and New Zealand. But we can, you know, talk about more than one time and do it again at a different time that, you know, maybe other people can join. So let me know if that's a good time for you. And I'll talk with Valerie about, you know, figure out what day is good for her. What I think Sundays are good for her, and figure out what week is good for her. And then I would, I think, put a link to it in Ravelry, so you could find it in Ravelry. And for those of you not on Ravelry, you could email me and I would send you the link to the meeting, because I don't think I want to put it in the down bar of a video, because I think you never know who's going to show up. So anyway, so let me know if that's a good time, 2 p.m. Eastern time on a Sunday. And any other suggested times that might work. Valerie works, but she said she could set up a meeting, a Zoom meeting, and make someone else an administrator of it also. And so she wouldn't have to be there if she couldn't be there because she's working. She works from home. So alternate time suggestions. And if you would be so kind as to put it in Eastern Standard Time so that I don't have to calculate too much, I would appreciate it. I am doing a lot of stockinette brain power, you know. Anyway, so I will say goodbye. Think about that. We are, and keep crafting with joy. The Ode to Joy make-along, and we have several prizes being offered. One in Australia for Australians, because, you know, international postage is very dear, very, very pricey. So we're going to probably have an Australia-only prize, and we have other prizes that will be available worldwide. And so I'm getting very excited. And thank you so much for joining me. And I do feel better about this. Thank you for letting me talk about it, because it made me a little sad to think that I couldn't knit it in my Ode to Joy make-along, but I am pretty sure it'll all block out. It'll all block out. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please stay safe. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Stay safe and stay safe.